Don't disappoint Jesus and buy a Torchcraft Marine boat today.
What's up, guys? Troy here with Torchcraft Marine, and we are back with another episode. We want to apologize, it's been a long time. We've actually moved our entire shop over the last 3 to 4 weeks now, and we are finally settled in. So first thing we'd like to do is show you guys this brand new Titan 12-footer. This thing has undergone many changes from the last version we did. Roughly over 40 changes to be more precise. So we're going to do a walk around this boat today. We're also going to show you guys the new shop. We also have a brand new model next door in the fab bay that we're going to go over, along with all the parts that are going into it. But our future now holds with building all of our boats with US made parts, and also some larger vessels for you fishermen. If you're into ocean fishing, crabbing in the bay, we have some new models coming out in 26 that you may be interested in. But let's get started with this 12-footer today. We have a lot to show you, so let's get into it. Okay, so what we have here is a 2026 12-foot Titan. This is our brand new hull design, all sourced in the United States of America. The aluminum says made in the US all over it. So we brought the majority of our operation into the States because everyone loves made in America here. So that was our main goal. We needed full control over design, our manufacturing process, all the parts that go into it. And we have finally obtained that in order to bring you guys a better product. So this guy is basically our apex trim level. It's got the brand new 325 horsepower engine in it. We have the headlights in it, heated seats. It is fully loaded beyond what we normally spec a boat out to. It's got some extras in it as well. We'll talk about this amazing wrap design, where it was derived from. The artist definitely deserves some credit on this one. So we'll start by doing a full walk around on it, show you guys some in-depth details and why this boat, or why this hull is better than our previous hull, and all the technical aspects of it. Okay guys, you're probably wondering what makes us a better design than our old hull design. Mainly it all comes down to the design of the bottom of the boat. We have a larger delta, we have wider chine. The older hulls that we used to build out of the shop, they seem to plow nonstop. They have a lot of water that comes out in front of the bow. We've heard this complaint numerous times. We've witnessed it ourselves. We've done everything we can to try to remedy it. You cannot fix it. It's just, besides putting 600-700 pounds in the back of the boat of the old hull, that is really the only way to fix it. That's kind of going backwards if you ask me. We're trying to build lightweight boats, high performance boats. Ain't nobody got time to be throwing extra weight in the boat just to make it ride better. So what we did was redesign the bottom. We have, without going into too much detail, we've completely redesigned it where this boat rides bow high at any speed. This hull with this engine, 60 miles an hour out of the box. We put probably 200 pounds worth of ballast in one of our other videos up on the bow, trimmed it all the way down, forced it to plow, and it was physically impossible. So you still get the excellent handling characteristics, shallow water performance, high speed, most important, a dry ride. Another thing that's disappeared is chine walk, and that, or bow steer. On the old hull, the bows plow, and there's too much of the bow in the water, and you'll notice the boats would have a slight fishtail to them. We got rid of that. These things drive straight as an arrow, can let go of the wheel, and they just track straight. Huge improvements over the old hull design. Some other things we changed are window design. We added a couple little elements here to make it stand out. We went to a curved rail up here. We're all about taking the extra step and things. Yes, these take way longer to make, but I think they look much, much better. We also added our logo to the front of the window. We're still using 1/4-inch Lexan. This is AR coated, both sides. That's abrasion resistant. Help keep those scratches to minimum. So another thing you may or may not notice is our side height has increased about 1 inch higher. So what that means is you're held in a little better if you're standing on the side of the boat fishing, or if you have little kids. I know an inch doesn't sound like much, but it makes a big difference. So we're still running our 1/2-inch UHMW on it, full coverage. Another thing that we made changes to on the old hull design, the UHMW stopped right about here, right about where the window frame is. And what that would cause is when you go into a corner, that blunt edge would catch water and it'd cause a ton of spray. So now your passengers getting wet, people in the back of the boat are getting wet. It's throwing spray all over the window. Not an ideal design. So we brought our UHMW all the way up to the tip of the bow. Huge difference. If you want to come over here, I'll show you this side of the window. We still have our walk-through window. A lot of people ask what this guy is. To me, it's quite simple, but to a lot of people, they don't understand what it is. It's a window stop. It keeps the window from going all the way over and hitting the front grab rail. So it does have form and function. We added our logo right here. And per usual, we have our logo on our combing strips, inner seats, front and rear. And we have an all-new designed engine cover too. Looks similar to what we're using, but it's actually wider on top. It's got some nice cutaways here, so we're getting rid of those knee busters, yet retaining the dual cup holders. And speaking of cup holders, everyone asks about them. Why don't you put them in your boats? Well, the truth is, when you go over a log or a gravel bar, whatever you have in them is going to come flying out of them. But we've decided to add them to the front regardless, just because everyone asked for them. They are there now. That is going to be standard issue in all of our boats. You also notice we got our signature headlight pockets in here. See a lot of builders starting to do that as well. We are the OGs. We did the square Frenched in. Just remember that. I got to give some credit to the designer on this boat. So a little backstory to it. The customer has a Pavati AL26, I believe, and we've successfully built its exact clone, but only in a 12-foot model. I'm going to find the designer's name. He reached out to me on Instagram. I wish I could remember it right now, but he actually came up with this theme for the customer's 26-footer, and they're obviously involved in the oil field. Apparently there's some how can I say this without pissing off everyone? They're obviously in the oil field world, and this boat's name is Too Crude, and it was actually drawn to look like oil spilt on water. So we have this oil slick going on. Calm down, environmentalists. It's just fake, I promise you. So I think it's a really cool design. If you saw the photos we posted on our social, this thing sitting in the water looks unreal with the water reflecting off of it. Shout out to the designer. Shout out to Envy Signs for laying it out, getting it just perfect on this boat. Scaling is everything when it comes to wrap design. And Nick over at Envy's got it dialed. Back here on the swim deck, we did some revisions. The old swim deck had round tube that we ran through, that was ran through a roller, It was an absolute nightmare to put on. I didn't never really cared for the looks of it. So we went to a formed swim deck, stubbed it off at the back, and we still use our Baja design. Backup lights. We got our tow hook on this one for Fusion Marine stereo, wireless waterproof remote. So if you're floating around in your inner tube, hanging out at the lake or on the river, you can have this in your pocket, crank up your tunes. Got our billet vents from J Industries. Those are standard. We have our billet, reverse bucket adapter, pump guards, billet tie downs. Those are also from J Industries. We put a lot of effort into this boat, and we put the best parts, the best of the best of the best on here. So if it says made in China, we do everything we can not to purchase it. But as everyone knows, electronics are all made in China. So any of the hard parts, non-electrical items, we are trying to source in the US. So for our interior, we have our PRP seats in here. These ones are heated. We did the double diamond stitch on them. We actually matched the Pavati as close as possible. This was sent to us to try to match the interior as close as we can. Not everyone's vinyl is exact, but I think we got really close to it. Even the Ultra Deck is extremely close. So these two boats, when they're parked side by side, should look nearly identical. The biggest difference is the AL26 has suede. We elected to go with waterproof vinyl on this one instead. Since these boats get a little more rowdy than a 26-footer, so when you're doing 360s, you're in heavy white water, it's imminent that the inside's going to get wet. So I suggested that we went to vinyl just for a little more longevity. We have our WBV air ride seat bases in here. They're all billet. There's only one other competitor I can think of that comes close to these. Unfortunately, they're a little over an inch taller. So the reason we go with the WBVs, like I said earlier, inch means everything. If you're sitting an inch taller in this thing, guess where you're looking? You're looking directly through the top of the window frame. So lower is better, but we're still getting the exact same amount of travel as a competitor. So that's why we use the WBVs. Yes, they're more expensive, but they're lower profile, and they're actually built for the Coast Guard in the UK. So they're individually serial numbered, individually inspected by a QC person. They're super high quality units. Up here in the helm, we have our custom MPI wheel. We have our fusion head unit up there. Both of our cup holders. We have our billet bezel surround, Garmin 743 XSV, and our standard issue Switch Pro digital controller. If you guys don't know about this device, it controls all electronics in the boat. It's solid state. It's safe to install in engine bay, ignition protected, and you don't have a ton of fuses and a ton of circuit breakers. So everything is self-contained in the device, and they're extremely easy to wire versus individually wiring fuses and circuit breakers. So we're a huge fan of those. Ultra Deck did an amazing job matching that Pavati. The scheme is identical to the AL26. We even have their company logo in there. And yeah, shout out to them. They kill it as always for us. So in the engine bay, we got our Rotax 325 horsepower engine. If you guys don't already know, this thing is way quieter than the 300s and the 230s. Night and day difference. They actually don't have any supercharger line at all, which kind of saddened me in the beginning, but now that I've owned one, I absolutely love it. There's some pretty big upgrades on this engine. We now have a factory blow-off valve. We have dual fuel pumps. We have much quieter engine, but we also have way more low-end torque and a higher revving engine with substantially beefier bottom end components. We have forged rocker arms now versus cast, and we also have no 2 sensor. What that means for longevity, not much. What that means for performance is now you can monitor your O2 readings. You can get a lot more in-depth tuning in them once it does come available. Tuning is finally starting to roll out on these. You can do a little, but you can't do a lot yet. Mainly because the ECUs are so hard to unlock. If you've owned a late model Can-Am X3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't just plug and play and tune these like the old days. You actually have to send the ECU in, have it unlocked, and then you can load your tunes. Everything in here is standard from our old hull versus new hull. We didn't really have to change much in here for layout, so it should all look familiar to you guys. Okay guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this 12-footer. If you guys are interested in ordering one of these and you want to have it by next summer, give us a call now. Our build schedule is almost booked out for the spring, and we are now working into the summer, so get on it while you can. These things take a long time to build, and there's a lot of people that want them, so don't miss out. Get one on the books today. All right, so we're going to talk about some other stuff that's going on in the shop. We have a good friend of ours boat in here. He had a little incident, and we actually have to swap the entire hull out for him. We haven't looked too in depth into the damage, but insurance has said put a new hull, give it a new hull. So we have this old hull design, which is the exact hull as this boat. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to completely gut this thing, transfer everything into a new hull, and give it a fresh wrap. But we're going to reuse the seats, electronics, anything that didn't get damaged in the incident is going in the new boat. So he's added a lot of upgrades. We're going to do our best to add those on without going over budget, but we'll have to talk to him about that. Not many of these have been wrecked. I can think this is the third one we built that didn't make it. So it's always interesting taking one of these apart that's seen extreme damage. We can see where all the weak points are. Mainly a learning experience too. If we need to add weld on some structural member, or if we need to move something. So it's always a learning experience, and we're kind of excited to tear into this thing. So at a quick glance, it doesn't look like much damage has happened, but we're going to have to look very close into this thing. And the first thing I noticed was our stomp grate is in a precarious position. We're also missing a bunch of parts on the pump, some important parts. So we'll have to look into that. We'll be reusing the trailer, the seats, the helm, everything we can. Get this thing back looking pretty. Definitely gonna have to clean that engine. Make sure no water intrusion occurred, but it's all a mystery to us as of now. So looking forward to tearing into this guy. Enough on this one. We're going to show you our new special project that we're working on. We're building a 22-foot offshore fishing boat. It's going to be powered by an outboard with a prop, believe it or not. We're going to do something a lot different in 2026. We live in the fishing boat mecca of Oregon. We're 40 minutes from the coast, from one of the biggest ports in Oregon. So we're going to dabble in the fishing boat world. We're going to come out with our first 22-footer, and then after that, we're going to start on some Tidewater series that'll have smaller outboards, probably 80 to 150 horsepower range, 16-foot. We're thinking 16, 18-footers to get started with. It's supposed to be great for crabbing, salmon fishing, And we'll also have the ability to put an outboard pump on some of these smaller boats, so you can still fish the Willamette, Santiam. Boats will not have UHMW. They will not be bashers. They will be fishing specific. So we're going to show you what we're putting in the 22-foot boat first for electronics and accessories. And then we'll show you guys the boat afterwards. I'm ridiculously excited about this. I've been working on this boat every single weekend. I think I've had 2 days off in the last 30 days. I just can't wait to get it on the water. And we're hoping to have it done by February for either the Portland Boat Show or Seattle Boat Show. We'll see how that goes. There's a lot of work involved. I'm not even quite 50% done with the 22-footer yet. But I'm working my ass off to get it done to show you guys. It's a design that I've never seen in the United States, so we're really excited to bring it to market. And yeah, I think you guys are going to be excited too. So let's go check out. It's like Christmas over here. Let's go check out the table and see what we're putting in this thing.
Kardashian.
None of it recorded.
Himbo slice.
You always know just to hit record.
I know when you
We don't forget any of it.
when you tell him to go over there, I'm just gonna start hitting record because he always says something funny and I can't hit record fast enough.
All right, guys, it's like Christmas over here. So I've been compiling a list of parts for all the must-haves for me as a fisherman, along with all my fishing buddies. So I think this is a good package to start with. It's probably a little extreme for most, but it's how I am. Get all or nothing. So on the 22-footer, I don't even know where to start on this stuff, but here we go. So we got our Fusion stereo. These things work great. I haven't sourced speakers for it yet because I don't know how much room we're going to have for 6.5s, 8s, subs. I don't know. So I'm going to wait until the cabin's built for it before we start looking at subs and amplifiers. And it may just get 4 6.5s. Usually when I'm fishing, I'm not blasting music, but it's nice to have that option. So we got our Fusion RA 670 with the wireless remote. This is a GMS 10 network expander. So what it does is it will allow us to network all of our MFDs, our VHF, our Fusion, all together. So in a nutshell, if you have one MFD towards the back of the boat, you can make all of your adjustments, whether it's your music, radar, pick the transducer you want to use, or you can do it all from the helm station. Everything carries over. So you're not running up to the helm, making a quick adjustment, and then running back to the back of the boat to continue fishing. You can do it all from either station. The network is an amazing thing to have. So on that network, we have a GPS map 943 XSV. It's a 9-inch display. I'm going to mount this somewhere on the gunnel, maybe in the rigging tray, but its sole purpose is be able to view the LiveScope Plus system. If you're not fishing with LiveScope, what are you even doing? This takes it to a whole new level. You can literally watch the fish swimming behind your bait. You can see if they're biting, if they're even there. If they're not there, why are you fishing when there's no fish? Typically in salmon season, they're in large schools. Could be 100 yards long, could be 200 yards long. You fish through them. Once they drop off the LiveScope, I'm turning around and going right back through them. So the greatest thing about that is you're not wasting fuel. You're not wasting precious fishing time, because typically we only have about 6 hours on the tide. We want to make absolute sure our gear is in their faces during that entire tide. LiveScope, you can do that. Up front in the helm station, I'm going with a 16-inch display, which will, the reason I went with the 16-inch is if you have a 9-inch or even a 12, when you split your screens between radar, sonar, chart plotter, everything gets very, very small. So I wanted a display large enough where I can do triple screen and be able to see all the data you need. We also have the Garmin VHF 115. That will be built into the network as well. And then we have the Phantom 18 radar going on top as well. I've never had radar on a boat, so this will be a learning experience for me. I can tell you, going out of Newport in the fog on opening day of salmon is absolute chaos. Everyone is running full speed with their eyes closed, and it's pretty intimidating. So radar should help keep an eye out for other hazards, and also help us find birds where all the bait fish are schooling up. It has many, many benefits. More than I'm probably even aware of, but I'm going to learn all about it and I'll show you guys. So on this 22 footer, we're putting a Yamaha 225 outboard on it. And then next to it is going to be a Yamaha 9.9 kicker with power trim and electric start. We're going to put the Garmin Reactor 40 autopilot on it. So we'll have autopilot on our kicker. We're not going to put autopilot on the main. I don't have any need personally to let go of the steering wheel while underway on the main engine. I think it's way too hazardous. But where we are, we have crab pots in the water, floating lines, seaweed, debris, other boats. I'd just rather be at the helm when on plane. For the front of the boat, we're going with the Garmin Kraken 90-inch, which also has autopilot. Big benefit with that is silent trolling. We used the Kraken last year on the narwhal, and I really think it helped the success of our fishing because of how quiet it is. It's literally silent. Fish don't hear you. You can see them, but they can't really detect you. And the biggest thing is spot lock. So we use spot lock sturgeon fishing on the Willamette. We used it jigging for kokanee. Biggest thing I want to do with this is anchor right over the reefs for lingcod and bottom fish. There's nothing more annoying than drifting over the reef, having to pull the gear up, motor back to your spot, drift over and over and over all day. You're wasting time. So now if you can spot lock over the reef, the gear is in the water, in the zone all the time. So that's going to be a huge addition. And then we're doing a pair of Scotty electric downriggers. We'll have one port and starboard. Those are amazing for deep water Chinook fishing out in the ocean and also kokanee. If I could figure out a way to network those where they follow the bottom, I would do it, but I don't think that's available in this system. So for the most part, that's about it. We do have our compass and, I'm adding the GPS 240XD external antenna. What I found with the narwhal having an all aluminum hardtop was that the MFDs, when they're trying to pass through an aluminum T-top or hardtop, the GPS signal gets skewed and they're not that accurate. So this time I'm going to go with an external antenna. And the reason for that is I had the old electric trolling motor using the GPS signal out of a 943, which wasn't very accurate. So the trolling motor wouldn't hold me exactly perfect. It was always searching because it never had a good GPS signal. So this should alleviate that. We'll have a total of 3 GPS sensors on board. In case one ever fails, there's redundancy there. I believe I'll have to look, but I believe we can send GPS signal through the VHF as well. It's going to be all about redundancy on this build and a lot of function, mainly for finding fish and a lot of creature comforts. Let's go check out the 22 over on the Fab side. I will say it doesn't look like much now, but we're going to give you guys a quick little sneak peek.
these boats and they're a Silicon and Pamela Anderson.
Where's Mr. Brian at? Looks like he's working hard over here. What's up, Captain?
It's El Capitan.
El Capitan. That's bitchin'. What are you working on today?
Just running some beads all along these corners. Here. All of this. A lot of out of position welding, but you know, I'm not too bad at it, so it's not that bad.
Well, this guy knows how to weld out of position, in position. He's tightening up all the outside corner joints. I did all the inside corners with the MIG. He's tightening up all the outside corners with the TIG, get a little cleaner look. But this is our swim deck. We've got the motor plate on, the battery box, the scupper boxes. Still have a little more structure to put in right here. We have our warm water wash station. That will be plumbed basically off the kicker motor. All the warm water coming out of the pisser will go directly into that. Or you can leave all the plugs out, use it as a bleed box. You can also add an aerator and use it as a bait tank. So we had them extend the swim deck for us a little bit. This boat originally was going to be around 21 foot 3, I think. Ended up at 22 foot 7 inches. It's got a 3/16 bottom, 5/32 sides, transom. There's not much eighth inch in this.
But
Okay.
yeah, the weld's pretty good.
Nice. Well, it's looking real good.
Thanks. Your welds complement my welds very well.
Well, yours are always going to be better than mine.
No.
This guy's a master. Let's hop in this thing and we'll do a quick look around, even though there's not much to look at, but I want to get out of these guys' hair. So I want to point that out right there, made in the US, all this aluminum. All right, so this is going to be a full walk around boat. I don't know if you can see those lines there, but that's where the step deck's going to start. So you'll actually be able to walk all the way around this. We'll have a center cab in here. We have lots of dry storage. Got an 86-gallon fuel tank going in that bay. I have no idea how many gallons that kill tank is, but it's a lot. And then right here, we're probably going to put our 36-volt system. Up here will be tempered glass, and that will be an aerated, what I'm calling the fish tank, but it'll be a live tank. And then we have a box here for a 12-volt battery, and then we'll put a wire access port over in there. Dual gunnel trays, both sides. Put our downriggers in those back corners. We got a fish door here. Still debating whether to swing out, swing in. There's lots of debate about that. We'll see how well it works. And then over on this side, we have our bait tank slash bleed box slash warm water station. So, not much to show now, but there's probably around 100 hours into this as of yet, and I feel like we're approaching the halfway point. So you want to stay tuned, keep an eye out on this thing, and see how it develops. So another thing we were talking about is how far the swim deck reaches out, and we were thinking of putting railing out here. Be a real nice spot for someone to take a piss or fight a fish. There's lots of room on the swim deck. It'll also probably allow us to, if you do wrap line around the prop, be able to reach out there in roughish seas and pull the line out of the prop. So I do want to make a correction from my last video. I believe I said I had a 22-degree entry. It's actually a 45-degree entry here. So ultra deep V, and we got the high flare sides, which I absolutely love the looks of. Disregard all the bracing on the side of the boat. That's just to keep the ripples at bay while we weld it out. So far it's staying fairly smooth and straight. So we'll see once we pull that bracing off. Well, side note, we got a pair of 14s in here, and we haven't really showed much of them because we've been so busy moving and setting up, but you notice we got our new window style on here. The first window wasn't too happy with. This one looks a lot sportier, so I think the Trident's gonna look pretty damn slick when we're all done with it. This unit will be going to Miami, Florida, and the unit back there will actually be going to the country of Georgia. There'll be a matching pair, 14 and a 12 footer, so keep your eyes out on those guys. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. If you guys are interested in one of our boats, hit us up, www.torchcraftmarine.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the social outlets. Our build schedule is filling up pretty quickly, so if you're interested in getting one of these by next summer, now is the time to order. If you're interested in pricing, go to the website, hit the pricing tab. You can spec out a boat as many times as you want. We have 4 different engine options. We have 2 different hull options in the one for the 12 foot, one for the 14 foot, but you can build them all a la carte now. It used to be back in the COVID days, you had to order a Speedster, Navigator, Apex. That's no longer the case. We can build it to suit. So hit us up. If you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button, maybe hit the bell notification, and you can keep up on all the new exciting projects we have coming out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. We got a lot of work to do. Want to keep... Go ahead and cut. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you're interested in one of these boats, hit us up. It's Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. So, fuck. All right, guys, that's going to... Fuck!